Welcome back to Grammar Grade 9. This is Unit 11, Lesson 79, and we're wrapping up our run of comma rules with 3 friendly, everyday jobs. First, setting off a person's name when you speak straight to them. Second, marking the short little question we sometimes tack on to the end of a sentence. And third, the 2 commas that live inside a letter, one in the greeting, one in the sign-off. Each one is small, but each one makes your writing clearer. Let's dig in. Let's start with direct address. This is when you speak directly to a person and name them right in the sentence. Whenever you do that, you set the name off with a comma. Listen. Robin, have you seen my keys? The name Robin is fenced off by a comma because it isn't really part of what you're saying. It just tells us who you're saying it to. It works the same way at the end, too. Thanks for the ride, Marcus. Here's a quick proof. Remove the name, and the sentence still stands on its own. A name in direct address can sit in 3 places, and the commas simply follow it. When the name comes first, put a comma right after it. Class, please open your books. When the name lands in the middle, it needs a comma on both sides. Please, class, open your books. And when the name comes last, put a comma right before it. Please open your books, class. So the pattern is easy to remember. The commas go wherever the name interrupts or ends the sentence. Next up, tag questions. A tag question is a short little question you tack onto the end of a statement. Here's one. You like pizza, don't you? The statement is, you like pizza, and don't you is the tag. That comma sets it off from the statement. In other words, you always put a comma in front of the tag. Another example. We can leave now, can't we? See how the tag turns a plain statement into a question, almost like you're inviting the listener to agree with you? Let's look at how tags are built, because there's a neat pattern. The tag usually flips the verb of the statement. If the statement is positive, the tag turns negative. You finished the book, haven't you? If the statement is negative, the tag turns positive. She isn't coming, is she? One more. They won't mind, will they? Notice the seesaw. A positive statement takes a negative tag, and a negative statement takes a positive one. And every single time, a comma marks the seam. Now let's switch to letters. Commas do 2 special jobs here. First, the greeting, what we call the salutation. In a friendly letter, the greeting looks like this. Dear Reuben. And you put a comma right after it. That little comma is your signal that a warm, friendly note is about to begin. Second, the closing, the sign-off at the very end. Every letter, friendly or formal, takes a comma after its closing. Sincerely, love, yours. There's one important exception, though. A business letter's greeting is more formal, so it takes a colon instead of a comma. Dear Ms. Lopez, colon. So keep the 2 apart. A friendly greeting and every closing take a comma, but a business greeting takes a colon. Let's pull it all together into a quick check. 1. Are you speaking to someone by name? Then set that name off with commas wherever it sits in the sentence. 2. Is there a short question tagged onto the end of a statement? Then drop a comma right before it. And 3. Are you writing a letter? Put a comma after a friendly greeting and after every closing, but use a colon after a business greeting. Notice the thread running through all 3. One small comma fences off the name, the tag, and the greeting alike. Let's try some together. Now let's practice. In this first set, I'll show you a sentence, and you decide whether that comma is setting off a name in direct address or marking a tag question at the end. Pause the video and try each before I reveal the answer. You've met her before, haven't you? That "haven't you" on the end is a short question added to a statement, and the comma sets it off. So the answer is tag question. Sophia, your right is here. Here you're speaking straight to Sophia, naming the very person you're talking to, and the comma sets her name off. So the answer is direct address. We should leave soon, shouldn't we? The "shouldn't we" tacked onto the end turns the statement into a question, so the comma is marking a tag. So the answer is tag question. Nice work. This second set is all about letters. For each one, decide whether it needs a comma or a colon after it. Remember the rule. Friendly greetings and all closings take a comma, but a business greeting takes a colon. Pause and try each before I answer. Dear Grandma, this is the greeting of a warm, friendly letter, and a friendly salutation always takes a comma, so the answer is comma. Sincerely, this is a closing, the sign-off at the very end of a letter, and every closing, no matter the letter, takes a comma, so the answer is comma. Dear Ms. Alvarez, this one opens a formal business letter, and a business greeting is the exception. It takes a colon instead of a comma, so the answer is colon. Let's gather up what we learned today. When you speak to someone by name, set that name off with commas, whether it comes at the start, the middle, or the end of the sentence. When you tack a short question onto the end of a statement, put a comma before that tag question. And in your letters, follow a friendly greeting with a comma, and every closing with a comma, while saving the colon for a formal business greeting. Each of these is really the same idea, a small comma quietly fencing off the part that's spoken aside. Great work today. I'll see you in the next lesson.